Good evening, Lizzie boys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're discussing some Monster High news. I always feel like I sound weird when I say that, but it's what we're talking about. So, we've got some release news relating to Skullectors. Currently they're mostly rumors, and most likely going to happen. I don't feel like major, doll news outlets would be posting about these if they weren't true. I don't know. But we've also got some interesting prototypes that were recently revealed through a designer's portfolio. So if you guys are cool with that, down with that, let us begin. So we'll start off with the Skullector stuff. So this information was found by Seeing Mount, who is a pretty credible leaker. Pretty sure they have never leaked anything that wasn't true at some point or another. So I'd say that what this graphic says is most likely true. It reads, initially this release was referred to as another Elvira doll, but is now being called a Monster High Pride doll. At the time, it is still unconfirmed if this doll will be a second Elvira doll and a Pride doll. This release is expected for June 2025 with an unknown price. So basically what all this means is that it's possible that next year, in June of 2025, we may be getting a new Elvira who will be a Pride doll. Now, there actually was a Pride Elvira figure somewhat recently, this year. It was this year. And it was kind of like an action figure of Elvira wearing a rainbow version of her dress. The reason this was made is because the actress who is Elvira, doesn't just portray her, she is Elvira. It's her character. She's portrayed her for the entirety of the character's existence. Cassandra Peterson. I think that's her name. Yeah, I'm probably right. Is actually, she's gay, so that's why they've been making Pride merch of Elvira. So if they are going to do a Pride Monster High release for her, I wouldn't be surprised. I think that'd be pretty cool, and hopefully this does happen, because I'm a pretty big fan of Elvira. I've been getting into her movies, as well as her comic books. I'm pretty surface level right now, but I'm enjoying myself. In other Skullector news, there has been rumors of Beetlejuice getting a second release next year. So it's unclear if this is going to be just a remake of the original Beetlejuice pack, though I feel like that's unlikely. A restock feels unlikely. I think most likely they're going to make a second version of the pack. Maybe instead of Lydia, they'll use Astrid, who is her daughter in the new sequel movie. Maybe they'll make a doll of Dolores, who's another character from the new movie. We don't know what this is going to be. Most likely, Beetlejuice himself will be in the pack, hopefully gender bent. I'm sorry, I don't like boy dolls. I really like the Skullector Beetlejuice doll, so I'd be pretty happy if we got a new version of her, maybe this time with Saran, because her original doll actually has Polly, which is majorly unfortunate. But yeah, we don't know anything about this pack. Most likely it'll release late this year, which seems unlikely to me because we're getting the Hocus Pocus pack late this year. So I'm going to say that the 2025 date seems more plausible to me. But yeah, this is what we have currently in terms of Skullector news. It's not much, but I think it's still interesting to discuss nonetheless. And now onto those prototypes I mentioned. There's just so many that I think I'm going to have to split this into 2 videos, or else I won't be able to get all of my thoughts out. So in this video, I'm just going to be going over the G1 prototypes, and maybe in a video later in the future, or tomorrow, or later today. I haven't decided yet, but basically at some point I will talk about the G3 ones. There's Toralize in there, so I have to. But yeah, in these photos, we can see prototype versions of certain releases. Here we have a prototype of Haute Couture Frankie, which features a hand-painted screening. So these prototypes were found on the portfolio of a Mattel, I don't know if designer's the right word, but they work in the hair department, so this doll is a hairstyling prototype, essentially. Obviously the face is also hand-painted, so she's more than that, but you know what I mean, right? That's what this person does, this, designer. I'm gonna find the name. Yeah, so the designer I'm talking about here is named Carol Johnny on Instagram, but it says in her header that her name is Carol Hensley. So essentially, she is a hairstylist and hair rooter at Mattel. it says she does 3D design and development, doll hairstyles, and roots. So yeah, she does both wigs for the prototypes, because some of these prototypes do have wigs, like this Beetlejuice here, and then the rooted ones as well. So it's pretty cool work, especially getting to work with the hand-painted heads like that. Really shows how durable they are, because like they're getting rooted, you know? Like they're getting rooted, going through the rooting machine, or even maybe by hand. We don't know how it's done. I think they probably have a rooting machine though. A company like Mattel would have to. But yeah, this Frankie looks really pretty. Again, just makes me wonder what happened when they were making the final screening that was released, because the prototypes are just stunning. Obviously, it can't stay one-to-one. Hand-painted prototypes are always going to look different, and in some cases superior to the, well, in most cases superior to the released product. That's just the way it is. It's hard to keep all the little details that are done through like hand painting on a mass-produced scale. So that's why the head looks different. We also have a head of Haute Couture Laguna, and this hairstyle is so cute. I really wish she could have kept the fishtail braid, but I imagine that would have been really hard to do on, again, a mass-produced scale, so I see why it was simplified. You ever just choke on nothing? Wow. I see why it was simplified, basically. I already showed this one for a second, but this is a hand-painted Beetlejuice with a wig. Most likely this is a resin head, and that's why it's not rooted. They will make like resin head prototypes like this. I've seen a couple from G1. Some people are lucky enough to own them. I've seen one of Marisol, one of Honey, and there are definitely others that I've seen, but I can't remember who they are at the second, but this is one of Beetlejuice. So there actually is another one of Beetlejuice where she has curly hair instead. And once again, it's a wig. But yeah, it's really interesting to think at one point they were toying with doing a kind of curly-haired afro style. I think the crimps worked better personally, but if they had used this curly hair, most likely the doll may have ended up having saran. Although, it should be noted that Beetlejuice is not the only Skullector with saran. Pennywise also has saran, and they gave Pennywise curly hair like this, so there is actually a slight chance that this may have still been Polly no matter what. But yeah, the hand-painted face is gorgeous. Again, I just really love the Beetlejuice doll, and I think this is really interesting to see. Maybe they'll use this curly hair texture on a second Beetlejuice doll. Obviously, that's not what this is. This is not a prototype of this new pack. This is just a prototype of the original release of Beetlejuice. But I'm just saying it could be interesting if they bring back this hair texture for a future Beetlejuice doll. We also have this prototype head, rooting sample of Holiday Draculaura. The face looks different to me. I don't think this is Holiday Draculaura's actual face. It looks like they just used a random Draculaura head here. But yeah, this looks really neat. Like, it's just very nice looking. Like, the hair is rooted so neatly. I love the way the tinsel looks. And I usually don't like tinsel in doll hair, but it looks really good here. Yeah, again, this one's just pretty interesting. It's kind of like a test shot prototype, because again, I don't think this is what her actual face looked like, but I haven't looked at the doll in a while, so I'm not sure. Another one that we got to see was Chucky. Chucky actually has a pretty different screening here. She looks meaner, you know? Like, the eyebrows look more narrow, and obviously there's still not a whole lot of, like, stitching on the face, especially in Bride of Chucky. Chucky's face should have been way more fucked up. Pardon my language, but that's the best way to say it. Chucky should have looked more fucked up. In Bride of Chucky, Chucky was like stapled back together crudely by Tiffany because she didn't know anything about doll restoration. But yeah, again, this prototype just looks really nice. I wish this is the face we had gotten, but again, mass-produced scale, things have to get changed. Here's a close-up of the Chucky screening, by the way, just because, again, it's a gorgeous face. I really would have liked this to be what released. Also, it's important to note that this Chucky is, in fact, wearing a wig. You can tell because of the kind of, like, wig line. The wig seam? I know it's not... Is it lace? I don't know wig terminology. I'm kind of stupid. But yeah, you can see the wig up on the forehead. Close-up of Frankie as well. Again, this is just such a gorgeous prototype. I love the eyes. I really love the way that the eyes and the eyebrows look. I feel like they're still blocky, don't get me wrong, but on the official doll, they ended up even blockier. So I'm just admiring how good this prototype looks. But yeah, that's everything that I wanted to cover in this video. I will make a separate video of the Cheat 3 prototypes. Again, I just think this video would have been way too long if I covered all of them at once, so splitting it up just for brevity's sake. I don't like making too long of videos, though I did really like making like 16-minute to 17-minute long videos with Jay, my girlfriend. So you guys can expect more content like that the next time I go to England, I guess. But yeah, that's about everything I wanted to cover in this video. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think the prototypes are interesting as well? Do you want to see the G3 ones? Let me know if you want to see the G3 ones. I'm sure some of you do. Also, I really want an excuse to talk about Toralei, so let me do it. Please, I'm begging you. But yeah, let me know if you guys are excited for the potential upcoming Skullectors. There is a chance that this new Pride doll won't be Elvira and that it was an error in the listing at some point, that it was listed as Elvira at all. But we can hope, you know? I'm sure the creator behind Elvira was super hyped to get an Elvira doll, so I don't think she would pass up the opportunity to do a second one, you know? So yeah, that's just what I think. And are you guys excited for the Beetlejuice pack? Leave your speculations of what you think it might be in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope to see you in my next one. Bye! Did the clip get cut off? I don't know. I'm just gonna say bye again. So, yeah. Double bye.